Ndị be anyị ekene m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi taa. Daalụ ndị unu si wee na-esonyere anyị n'ife anyị na-eme n'elu akwụkwọ. Anyị sịkwa unu ga-adị ka echi na-eche ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị. Ise ise ise. Gị bụ onye ọma na-ege ntị, daalụ nne once again ka unu si na-esonyere ya. Anyị na-afụ kọmentị unu n'elu akwụkwọ. Anyị si na Chukwu kabịa maka anyị nọ elu niile n'ofu n'ofu. Otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịkwa ọzọ. Ise. Ya bụ ozi eji maka ya wee bịa n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ nwanne anyị nwoke bụ General Secretary of ohanaeze ndigbo nke bụ Charles were okwu o kwuru n'elu akwụkwọ bring attention to ụmụ Chineke. Ọ sịrị the entire Southeast has been excluded from governance and government investment. Alright, ya bụ ife o kwuru dịka o si wee dị. O nwegasị ife ọ lụtagasị ya aka. Ife a bụ na Rise News ka e mere this interview. O were nnukwu ya lụtagasị ya aka. Nsị ka mụ tielu unu ụmụ Chineke ka unu ga ya bụ ife. Unu ga-esi ya unu drop comment unu gbasịta maka ife nna anyị na nwanne anyị nwoke kwuru n'elu akwụkwọ a. Maka na anyị kwere unu nkwa na ga-ewetara unu update ọbụla bụ ife na-ekwu gbasịta maka ife na-eme n'ala Igbo ana ka Igbo ga-eji dị mma ana ka Igbo ga-eji wee na nkwa anyị kwere unu. So ga ya bụ ife ga-esi ya drop right comment gị on the comment below. All right, over to you, sir.
In the beleaguered southeastern state of Imo, how risky is the security situation there, with governorship elections less than 2 months away? Well, top elders from the region, under the auspices of the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum, have called on Southeast governors to convene an urgent meeting and take collective charge of securing the zone. The forum is also insisting that the release from custody of the separatist IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu would be key to restoring peace in the Southeast region. Whilst calling on the federal government to step in to help, they also cautioned the security forces not to unleash terror on the innocent people of Imo State. So how much should their calls underpin the reaction of the government there? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the Secretary General of the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum, Professor Charles Nwekeaku. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Why does there appear to be so much insecurity in Imo State? It appears to be the epicenter of violence in the southeast.
Well, thank you so much. Well, insecurity has become a permanent feature of Nigeria. You find out that almost every part of the country, you are having security challenges. But where that of Southeast is worrisome because that part of the country wasn't noted for violence. This is a new phenomenon, and we attribute it to the pattern of governance within the country, where the entire Southeast for a long time has been excluded from governance. And not just that, Southeast denied of major government investments, appointment into public offices and so forth. And then you find a situation where at a stage, some Jews started revolting. But that aside, you find out that with that, enemies of Southeast decided to penetrate, using that as an excuse to destabilize Southeast. Southeast is noted for peace. Southeast is a home of peace. And today, what we see, especially the recent killings in Mbano, it saddened me. It saddened every person, every Igbo man. We are not happy. And
well, every Nigerian.
Yes, and we condemn it. How can security agents be attacked and killed like that? For what?
Well, I mean, I'm asking you specifically why there seems to be such insecurity in Imo State. Because if you look at a lot of the other states, the insecurity is nowhere near the sort of thing that we're seeing. I mean, I've seen some statistics that suggest that since 2020, up to 300 people have been killed in Imo State, and several hundred more are missing and unaccounted for. I mean, it sounds like a war zone, doesn't it?
Well, You found out that in Imo State at a particular point in time, the government, state government, invited the military to help to quell, youth uprising. And some of us felt that such wasn't a good decision, because relying on kinetic measure will not actually bring peace in any place. It doesn't. And so we felt that Imo State government then should have thought of non-kinetic measures. You found out that Imo, the greatest industry of Imo State is education. But you found out that in Imo State you don't have employment, employment opportunities are not there. So you have many graduates roaming the streets. And the number of these graduates are well experienced and so forth. And then you find out that because an idle man is a devil's workshop, some of them decided to join some non-state actors associations such as IPOB and so forth. And now when that started, instead of inviting them, instead of exploring peaceful means, the state government invited the military. And since then, you see that violence has been on the increase in Imo State in particular. So you find out that it's only in Imo State that state government invited the military. And so, but that is not a justification for killing of innocent people. We don't believe that. We don't approve it. So that is one reason. Second, you find out that, well, Imo, you see that even in that Imo State, originally, you look towards ohanaeze, close to Anambra State. Some areas they have kind of forest that could be hiding places for these people. So some of them remain that side. Moreover, there was one of the commanders of IPOB from that area, Ikonso, who was brutally killed after we learned having a meeting with government representative. And so these people were angered and they decided to fight. But this time around, I know that IPOB has come out. IPOB has never been violent oriented, much of the same thing. And so what is happening in Igbo land is not in tune with Igbo culture and tradition. We try to resolve whatever dispute we have peacefully.
Right. Do you think the insecurity in Imo State is politically motivated, as some have suggested?
Well, as a matter of fact, according to Karl Marx, struggle between classes over the control of material resources is the major cause of conflict in every society. And even when you consider Imo State, for example, just as I pointed out, Imo State has high number of graduates without employment. That is risk. So you find out
but
that
it's not just Imo State. I mean,
not just
there
Imo
are lots
State.
of. I mean, unemployment is rife
you find out
across
that
Nigeria.
those people who are
Right.
employable but not employed, and then you have a number of things going on. So the tendency...
It makes them more susceptible
yes,
to do
so
bad
the
things.
Tendency,
Is that what you're
so you
saying?
see a number of them trying to look for alternative.
Right. But in that context,
yes.
then,
Yes.
governorship elections are coming up in November.
Yes.
Are you worried about that and how violent it may turn out to be?
I am worried, especially the last killing in Ehimembala. We understand that the attackers who killed security agents were on uniform. Now, the question is, in Igbo land, every kilometer or 500 meters, you see police checkpoints, you see military checkpoints. How come that these people beat all the security agents and none of them could be arrested? It's like what happened not quite long in Imo State, where unknown gunmen invaded Owerri Correctional Center and operated for almost 3 hours. Owerri Correctional Center is a shouting distance from the government house. It's a shouting distance from State Police Command. 10 minutes drive from Obin's military base. And this unknown gunmen operated for over 3 hours, released prisoners, and no person has been arrested till today. And that's why our people believe that federal government has some explanations to do with insecurity in the southeast. Because, you see, yes, as you rightly pointed out, Ohanaeze has directed, has asked the governors to meet and think of what should be done to resolve this thing. But you know that the governors, they are chief security officers of their states in principle, but in practice, they are not, they are helpless.
Yeah, but obviously you told us about how Imo State brought the military in.
Yes, yes.
So clearly they've got some influence.
Yeah, they're invited.
And I'm wondering if they're listening to you at all.
Yes, they're invited. So you see now, bringing the military is one thing, but the military will not take directive from the state governor. He won't. The state police commissioner will not take directive from the state governor. So you see that our governor, they answer chief security officers of the state in principle, but in practice they are not, because the security officer do not take command from them. And this is a problem. And this is why we'll be calling that this country should be restructured. You restructure this country. That I don't know the kind of federalism we are practicing, where you have centralized system and call it federalism. It's not what we read. It's not what you read about federalism. Federalism, at least, is a system of government where you have 2 or more levels of government that are coordinate, okay, and independent. In Nigeria, it's centralized. So, and this is not helping us. And we have been calling, restructure this country. When you restructure it, let every state take charge of its security. Now, Nigeria is degenerating to the state of nature, where life was short, brutish and violence, lawlessness, and that is what is happening. If security agents could be attacked, you and I are not safe. You remember recently, some governors have been attacked and no person has been arrested. Train was attacked, Kuje Correctional Center was attacked, and high-profile prisoners released. No person has been arrested, and arms are coming into the country. No person has been arrested. And so you ask yourself, what kind of system are we operating? Why don't we allow the state government to take care of their security?
Right. We haven't got that much time left. What about your rather loud and persistent calls for the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
Yes.
Is anyone in authority listening to you?
Well, we keep on, we are still making that appeal, that if the federal government really want peace to return to Southeast, release Mr. Nnamdi.
And you believe that if he's released, there'll be peace?
Yes. One is that it is believed, and every Nigerian should believe so. There are no charges against Nnamdi Kanu today. Originally, federal government arrested him and brought him from Kenya. 15 count charges. A federal high court, presided by Bin Tanyako, discharged him of 8 charges. He appealed. Appeal court, unanimous ruling by 3 judges, discharged him of the remaining 7 and acquitted him. Government say is appealing. Till today, government is yet to bring new charges against Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. And we are asking, why are you holding Mr. Nnamdi Kanu? Release this young man, because if you release him today, some miscreants who are using him as an excuse to cause confusion in the Southeast will no longer have any excuse. So his release is central, is fundamental to peace process in Southeast. And we are appealing to the federal government. If you want peace, if federal government is really interested in peace in Southeast, the federal government releasing Nnamdi Kanu.
Right. Now, we've got about a minute or so left. At one point in the history of this country, and you alluded to it earlier, the Southeast was a leading region in the quest for progress, education, and development. Has the Southeast now completely lost that advantage?
Well, you know, Southeast is the home of the Igbos. You have this Igbo spirit struggling. You remember that after the Civil War, every Igbo man, it doesn't matter the amount you had in the bank, only 20 pounds. And within some years, the Igbos have come up. See, everywhere, struggling. So we believe in surviving under any condition. But you find out that government has neglected us for a long time. You see that in the First Republic, Eastern region, Southeast was part of Eastern region. Eastern region was rated by the World Bank study as the fastest growing economy in the world, between 9 and 10% growth. And so you see, that's by merit, because by then the regions had modicum of autonomy to handle their affairs. Today you centralize everything. Not just that you centralize everything, you come up with all kinds of legal impediments, federal character, quota system, where competence has nothing to do with your recruitment. In Nigeria today, your recruitment has nothing to do with your personal competence, but where you come from. The only thing that we have no problem with that, but the truth is that when it comes to political leadership, you throw away quota system and federal character. And that is why our people have been crying of injustice.
Right, okay.
You have government as government, if government wants to redeem Nigeria, restructure this country so that every zone will move according to its pace.
Okay. I want to thank you very much indeed, Professor Charles Wekak, who has been a bit of an education talking with you there. Yes. He is the Secretary General of the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
And the bike demono, Dalolin Kunisi, awareness or any Friday magazine on focus where but away. That's all no see again is a one there. Yabo His Excellency and also Professor Charles unni foku ni ilu akwụkwọ a okwuru dị ka o si wee dị anta m nụrụ ya ọfụma maka so ya nọrọ si m gịnị ya kọrọ nwanne ya nke dị ka ibe ya bụ gị bụ onye mụ na-ege ntị gịnị ka ị nwere ike ikwu gbasịta maka ife Charles bụ Secretary General of ohanaeze ndigbo kwuru n'ilu akwụkwọ anọ gịnị ka ị nwere ike ikwu gbasịta maka ya drop your own comment on the comment below. Echefuna na ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị siri wee na-wetara nnukwu ozi ya dị oke mkpa ngwa daalụ ụmụnne m ka emesịa.